Today's topic, why your E2 or EB5 visa is actually one Excel spreadsheet away from becoming a first-class ticket back to wherever the hell you came from. Balance those books like your freedom depends on it, because it absolutely does. Ladies and gentlemen, and every delusional millionaire who just wired their entire life savings to chase the American dream like it's still 1995, welcome to the one-way deportation special. I'm your friendly neighborhood compliance grim reaper from Numeratus. Yeah, that's my actual job. We sit around all day explaining to people why USCIS cares more about your QuickBooks file than your genius business pitch. Today's topic, why your E2 or EB5 visa is actually one Excel spreadsheet away from becoming a first-class ticket back to wherever the hell you came from. You know the deal. Funds at risk, not park it in a CD and sip Mai Tais, not loan it to your cousin who swears he'll pay you back. Actual, real, could lose everything risk. USCIS doesn't care if your idea is brilliant. They care if your money is sitting there naked and the table might catch on fire. And the only witness that proves you're not running some half-ass scam, your accounting. Mess that up, and trust me, the joke's on you. Let's talk at risk, because half of you still think it means I invested and now I'm mildly inconvenienced. $800,000 minimum for EB5, or $1 million if you hate cheap real estate and want to feel extra special. That cash has to be irrevocably committed. No takebacks. No, don't worry, we'll buy it back at par in 5 years. If your project promises a safe 2% return, plus your money back, congratulations. You just turned your green card strategy into the world's most expensive Ponzi scheme. USCIS will deny you faster than your broker can say, oops, my bad. This exact language shows up in denial letters we see all the time at Numeratus. Word for word. No punchline. Just pure bureaucratic poetry. Now let's talk about the E2 visa. Same energy, just cheaper on paper. Still got to be substantial. And say it with me, at risk. Treat it like a loan to yourself? Denied. Hide it in an escrow forever? Denied. Wire it in, then immediately wire it back? You just invented the most expensive round-trip vacation in human history. Real-life horror story number 1. Names changed because lawyers are vultures. Meet James, the taco truck visionary. Drops $120,000 into the business. Except he's paying his kids' college tuition out of the truck account and calling it marketing. One request for evidence later, USCIS wants proof the funds are actually at risk. James sends a selfie with the taco truck. Denied. Last I heard, he's back in Delhi, explaining to his in-laws why the visa disappeared. But the student loans didn't. Your money has to be willing to die so your visa can lit. That's the rule. No exceptions. No, but I'm really smart loopholes. Now the part that makes grown men cry into their $800,000 investment, the accounting. USCIS and the IRS are in the world's most toxic relationship, and you're the child stuck in the middle getting yelled at by both of them. That's why firms like Numeratus exist, purely to keep you breathing between those two psychos. They want perfect books, segregated accounts, every penny traceable. No commingling your personal life with the business like some clown who pays for his groceries, vacations, and kids' tuition out of the company account and calls it all business expenses. Here are some common ways people accidentally book their own deportation. Commingling funds. Oh, the business paid for my groceries. Business expense? No. That's how you turn a $200 Whole Foods run into a notice of intent to deny. These people are out here treating QuickBooks like it's Venmo. Fake or sloppy records. One guy ran an EB5 car wash. Same QuickBooks file for the business, his gambling debts, and his mistress's consulting fees. USCIS subpoenaed the books for the I-829. The auditor laughed so hard he needed oxygen. Investor? Back home explaining to his wife why the car wash washed him straight out of America. Creative use of funds. Regional center diverts money? Flagged. You buy yourself a Rolex under business development. That's not development. That's Exhibit A in your denial package. No accountant who understands immigration. Your hometown accountant thinks at risk is a stock tip from his cousin. He'll get you audited by the IRS while USCIS sits back and revokes your status like it's nothing. Here's another story. True vibes, details change so nobody sues us. Elena, the boutique hotel queen, $900,000 in, books looked perfect until the audit. Turns out she'd been cycling money through shell companies to smooth cash flow. USCIS called it not at risk. The SEC called it something that rhymes with felony. She lost the investment, the hotel, the conditional green card. Now she's hosting Zoom calls from back home titled, How I Became an Expat the Expensive Way. Your accounting isn't paperwork. It's your alibi. It's the only thing standing between you and a federal agent politely asking, Sir, do you know why we're here? While you're packing winter clothes for a country that doesn't have winters. E2 extensions? Live or die by clean books. EB5 I-829? They want proof that jobs were created and your money stayed at risk the entire time, like it's on life support. That's why Numeratus treats compliance like an operating system, not a filing cabinet. One missing receipt, and boom, your American dream just got canceled like a bad Netflix show nobody watched. So how do you survive this horror movie without becoming the next cautionary tale? Hire an immigration-savvy accountant on day one. Not your cousin, not the guy who does your taxes and thinks at risk means buying Bitcoin. Someone who knows the difference between a legitimate business expense and Exhibit A in federal court. That's literally the lane Numeratus lives in, by the way. Separate everything. Business bank account, business credit card, business QuickBooks. Your personal life stays in its own lane like a divorced dad. Document like your visa depends on it, because it does. Wire transfers, invoices, payroll, job creation spreadsheets, quarterly reviews. Monthly if you're smart. You should be paranoid. The system is. For EB5, make sure the regional center or your direct project has real fund administration. Commingled capital is the kiss of death. We've pronounced that patient dead more times than I can count. Do this right, and your money can bleed out in peace while your status stays immortal. Bottom line, seekers of the American dream, compliance isn't sexy. It's not the flashy franchise. It's not the shiny regional center PowerPoint with the yacht pictures. It's the boring, ruthless accountant in the background. The Numeratus type, making sure your funds stay at risk and your ass stays in America. Ignore it and you become the punchline of my next seminar. Embrace it. Your funds might die a heroic death in the marketplace, but your future? Bulletproof. Now go forth, balance those books like your freedom depends on it, because it absolutely does. And for the love of God, do not commingle your funds.